Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ed from VinylAlbumCovers.com, and I'm about to go off. This is where I do it. I'm in my car, as you can tell. I'm on my way somewhere, but this just couldn't wait. I threatened it earlier, and here it is. I want to talk about Oversinging, and I got to thinking about it because Jacob Collier just released a new single off of his Jesse Volume 4. It's a cover of Paul Simon's Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and it's an absolutely fantastic song. It's fantastic just to begin with. It's great. And I'm a big fan of Jacob Collier. I have been for a long time, ever since Fascinating Rhythm came out, like the very first YouTube thing he did. He's amazing. I love the fact that he has no qualms with breaking tunes. If I want to listen to the original song, I can do that. But if I want to listen to somebody taking it to the extreme, then I'm going to listen to Jacob's version, and I'll be very happy doing it. I especially love his version of PYT. He's even said in interviews, like, I broke the song, and he sure enough did. But I think it's fantastic. Here's what's not fantastic: Oversinging. Oversinging is not fantastic. And his version of Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and I said Bridge Over Troubled Water, is full of oversinging. It's almost as though Yebba and Tori Kelly don't even know what the song is about. And I want to give them their flowers too before I go too deep into this, because I'm not coming for Tori Kelly. Neither am I coming for Yebba. They both have great voices. Like, really. I mean, Tori Kelly is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's literally nothing that she can't do, vocally speaking. She's amazing. She should be far more popular than she is. But I think I know why she's not as popular as she could be. Oversinging. She very often just goes too far. There's a big difference between singing and vocalizing. If you're singing a song, then you are inhabiting it, right? You are, you understand what the song is about, and you're interpreting it. You're making it feel like something. If you're a singer, then you know that the song is king. The song is the most important thing. If you're a vocalizer, you're basically treating your voice like an instrument. And people come to hear, if they're coming to listen to a vocalizer, they're coming to listen to what the vocalizer does with his or her voice. There is room for both of those things, but when confronted with a song like Bridge Over Troubled Water needs singing. It doesn't need vocalizing. And you know, initially when I heard that song, I placed the blame squarely at the feet of Yebba and Tori Kelly. John Legend does not go overboard. John Legend is much more a singer. Does he get grandiose and blow it up a bit? Yes, but it's not bothersome because he's singing the song. That's what John Legend does. He sings songs. He's an interpreter of songs. But Yebba and Tori Kelly were just riffing their way through the whole thing. And yes, I know Yebba initially did it for a different video and it was repurposed for Jacob's song. I understand that. And like I said, initially I blamed them for the oversinging. But then Jacob put a video up of him recording the song with Tori Kelly. And all of a sudden, and it didn't take long to figure this out, the blame does not lie with them for Bridge Over Troubled Water. The blame lies with Jacob. Jacob was literally, I'll put a link in the description so you can see the video, but Jacob was literally giving Tori Kelly exactly what she was supposed to sing. Like, He was feeding her runs, and she was doing them exactly as prescribed. And they were going at it almost line by line. In fact, it was line by line. The 8 minutes or so of that video, you can see them going through it line by line. So, in short, that this is all Jacob's fault. This particular song speaks to a bit of an epidemic among singers these days. I don't know that there's a clearer example of it than this song, but it's certainly not the only one. But rather than singing songs, it's as if the vocalist is so concerned with being heard that they just riff everything to death. And I know where it started. I'm old enough that I can tell you where it started. There are two people who are responsible for this trend of over-singing that's been going on for such a long time. The first being Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder will go riff crazy on something. But, well, let me before I do the but. The next person who is responsible for this is Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was just built to sing. That's it. She had an amazing voice. By the end, not so amazing. And by the end, she was compensating because of vocal damage. She was compensating by doing a lot of runs in order to make things sound different. And she did a lot of that at the end. And I think what happened is that people listened to Stevie, and they listened to Whitney, or maybe just Stevie or just Whitney, and they caught the whole riffing thing and decided they wanted to do that. And so that's what they did. That's how we end up with like Christina Aguilera, who is just famous for just consistently over-singing everything she sings. There's this particularly horrible version of It Last that she does. That it's nothing but riffs. Stevie's influenced his fair share of singers too, like Trey Songz. I don't want to call people out because I think that's corny, but there are so many that just over-sing. RL from Next is an over-singer quite often. He has to be held down in order not to do it. And there are many others. I won't waste my time calling out names again. And I think Trey Songz has a nice voice. I think RL has a nice voice. His version of We Can't Be Friends that he did with Deborah Cox years ago is fantastic. He sounds so good on it because he's just singing the song. He's not losing his mind. When he doesn't, he's great. I haven't heard Trey Songz not do that yet, but if he didn't, he'd be so much better. Here's the problem with over-singing. When you over-sing a song, you are thinking only of yourself. You are not thinking about the song. You're not thinking about the lyrics, the way it should be interpreted. You're not living it. And if you're not going to bother living it, why are you doing the song to begin with? Like Bridge Over Troubled Water, except for the points at which John Legend is singing, I can't even care about it because Tori and Yeba are just riffing. And it doesn't mean anything. It's just riffage. There's no feeling in any of it. I feel a little bit when Tori is singing Sail on Silver Girl. But even then, excuse me, even then, it's just contrived. It's just, this is what Jacob wants me to sing, so I'm singing it. And it's all line by line, and it's entirely too clinical. And it's just, what about the song? What about the song? Why are we ignoring the song? Sing the song. If you're gonna get, if we're gonna break it, fine, break it. I get that. Jacob can break it. But you don't have to, we don't need all these riffs and runs. We lose the meaning of the song. The song gets lost in the science experiment, and it isn't okay. It's such a ridiculous trend in modern singing, and it has to end. Yeah, okay, fine. It's impressive that you can do this. It is. And people didn't get it. It's like Whitney did do that stuff, but Whitney did it with taste. She knew when to do it. She knew when it was appropriate. And she could also give you something like All at Once, which is just vocal dexterity personified, but done with taste. You never lose the heartbreak in the song. And it's one of the more heartbreaking songs I've ever heard. I talked about it in our Whitney video cast, the one we did with Ed Bowser and Dre. I talked about it a bit. It's just the most tragic heartbreak. I mean, the lyric is just, Jeffrey Osborne's lyric is just crazy good. It's an amazing lyric. And Whitney sings it. You can feel that she's really in it. She's not just riffing over it. Whitney had taste. Where's the taste? Nobody has taste anymore. It's all just noise, just riffing. It doesn't mean anything. It's all getting lost. And it's very troubling for somebody who loves singing and who loves songs as much as I do. And I get the feeling as much as the few of you who will watch this. It's troubling. It really is troubling. And I don't think this is an old man thing. I think this is, and I like listening to singing and interpreting and I love songs thing. I think that's what it is. I don't think I'm just being an old man. This is an issue and it needs to be addressed and it needs to change. People need to get back to singing songs and making them feel like something rather than just riffing. Bridge Over Troubled Waters is one of the most egregious offenders of that I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's nothing. It's a bunch of nothing until John Legend gets there. And then once he's done and it gets back to the clinical line-by-line thing that Jacob had Tori do, it's like, it's nothing again. A song like that should feel. It's the ultimate song of support. It's like, I got you. The ultimate, I've got you. I'm here for you. But you don't feel that. You can't. How can you? Jacob won't let you. He's just trying to blow your mind with incredible riffage. And as a result of doing that, all the feeling's gone. He's perfectly capable of making us feel something. He's done it. I mean, You and I feels like something. It doesn't feel enough, but it does feel like something. It's just, Jacob's approach is very clinical, and I appreciate it for what it is. But this is less about Jacob, and it's more just about this trend of not feeling anything. We got to get to the point where singers sing songs. The melody's there for a reason. Sing the melody, please and thank you. I'll go ahead and stop here. Thank you very much for watching my rant. I was really feeling this one. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. You know all the things that you do on YouTube. I'd appreciate if you did them. I really would. And thank you very much for watching this. And I'd love to know your thoughts too. So please feel free to comment and let me know what your thoughts are. I'm really interested to converse. But I've pulled up at my destination. Further, you're probably sick of hearing me talk. So I'm all done. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It means much. And until we see each other next time, well, I mean, I won't see you, but until you see me, keep listening to great music.